The Victorian house on Hawthorne Street had always been the kind that made people whisper. Locals swore its windows watched back, and the porch groaned even without footsteps. But for Jenefer Hale, the house wasn't frightening, just lonely like her. After leaving New York behind, along with the wreckage of a relationship and a job that drained her, she wanted quiet. Silence. Space. The kind of space where no one knew her. The Massachusetts autumn was settling in. Crisp air, fading light, and the scent of old leaves everywhere. Jenefer stepped inside the house she now owned, and still half regretted buying, holding a cardboard box and her breath. It was her first night alone. The house smelled of dust and forgotten time. The floorboards creaked as though greeting a familiar soul. Home, she whispered, though the word felt fragile. Hours later, with boxes half opened and her body aching, she decided to explore the attic. The previous owner had warned her. Old things up there. Some you should keep, some you should leave alone. She had laughed it off then, but now, standing at the foot of the narrow staircase, she felt a strange hesitation claw at her throat. The attic was dark, the only light coming from a single cracked window washed pale with moonlight. She pulled the dangling string of the bulb. The yellow glow flickered to life. Dust motes danced in the air like tiny ghosts. She pushed aside old trunks and stacks of newspapers until something gleaming caught her eye. A tall object under a sheet. The shape was unmistakable. A mirror. Something about it tugged at her. She pulled the sheet away, dust billowing around her. An antique mirror, taller than she was, framed with swirling silver vines. Age had tarnished small patches, but it still shone proudly, unnervingly. Its glass wasn't flat. It rippled, almost like the surface of a pond. Wow, she breathed. Her reflection gazed back. But something was wrong. The room behind her in the reflection was darker, shadows deeper, and her own face. Delayed by a second. When she blinked, her reflection blinked just after. A cold prickle raced down her spine. No, she murmured, stepping back, but she couldn't look away. Her reflection tilted its head slightly farther than she had, a fraction too far, as if curious. A faint chill passed by her, though the attic was sealed tight. Then, softly, barely audible, jingle jingle. She spun around. No one. The attic was empty. She looked back at the mirror and froze. A small white cat sat inside the reflection behind her. Perfectly still, perfectly silent. Its fur shimmered like fresh snow under moonlight. Around its neck hung a delicate silver bell, the source of the sound. But the cat wasn't in the real attic, only in the mirror. Her breath hitched. She reached out hesitantly, fingers trembling, and touched the cool glass. The surface rippled, like water. She jerked her hand back, heart pounding. The ripples faded, but not completely. The mirror seemed to breathe. Then the cat inside the glass tilted its head, lifted itself gracefully, and walked forward, toward her side of the mirror. Jenefer stumbled back. Okay, what the hell? The cat stepped out of the mirror, as softly as any living thing would. Its bell chimed, a soft haunting sound that vibrated through the air. It sat at her feet, looked up, blinked slow. Are you real? The cat meowed, though the sound felt distant, as if she heard it through water. Jenefer reached down slowly. The cat didn't move away. She touched its fur. It was warm, soft, undeniably alive. A pulse of warmth shot through her chest, filling a space she hadn't realized was empty. Where did you come from? She whispered. The cat only blinked. Behind them, the mirror flickered again, light swallowing the attic, shadows stretching. For a heartbeat, she saw a world behind the glass. Fog, twisting woods, a town that looked like hers but wrong. Warped. Then it vanished. The cat's bell jingled once. Jenefer looked between the mirror and the animal now settling comfortably in her arms. Something inside her whispered, "This house isn't empty, and you're no longer alone." But somewhere deep down, another whisper slithered. You should have left the mirror covered. The next morning, Jenefer awoke to the soft jingling of the bell. The white cat sat at the foot of her bed, watching her with eyes too deep, too knowing for an ordinary animal. You're still here, she murmured, reaching out to stroke it. The cat purred, but again, the sound seemed distant, as if filtered through another world. For 2 days, she tried to pretend everything was normal. She unpacked boxes, walked through her quiet Massachusetts town, and ignored the mirror in the attic. But the cat stayed with her, always appearing unexpectedly on the stairs, on the kitchen counter, by the window watching falling leaves. And sometimes, the mirror called, not literally, but she felt its pull like a low hum in her bones. One evening, after another lonely dinner, she found herself climbing the attic stairs without deciding to. The mirror stood waiting. The white cat sat beside it, tail curled neatly, eyes bright. "You want me to follow?" she realized. The mirror rippled again, soft light shimmering across its surface. "Is this safe?" The cat's bell chimed once. Maybe yes, maybe no. But Jenefer hadn't felt this curious, or this alive, in months. She stepped closer. Her reflection stared back, perfectly in sync this time. No delay, no distortion. But behind her reflection lay that strange, fog-filled town again, yet clearer now, crisp enough to see leaves drifting across the ground, shop windows glowing faintly, a street lamp flickering. The cat pressed against her leg. The mirror glowed, and Jenefer stepped through, cold. A chill deeper than winter seized her, curling around her ribs, squeezing her lungs. But then she stumbled onto cobblestone, solid ground. She gasped, looking around. She stood in what looked like her New England town, but drained of color, dipped in twilight. Buildings stood where they should, but their edges wavered slightly, like reflections on dark water. Windows were fogged, shadows moved strangely, and the air felt alive. The cat trotted forward confidently. "Where are we?" she whispered. Her voice echoed, too loudly. They walked down the street. Shops she recognized, but names spelled wrong, trees taller than they were in her world, leaves drifting upward instead of falling down. A door creaked open to her right. She turned. A figure stood inside a small diner, a warm glow behind him. Her heart caught in her chest. Her father. She blinked. No, impossible. He had died 4 years ago. "Dad?" she whispered, voice breaking. He smiled the same soft way he used to. "Jenny, you came back." Her knees weakened. Tears filled her eyes like a flood she couldn't stop. She ran to him, and he wrapped her in a warm embrace, solid, real, achingly familiar. "I missed you so much," she sobbed. "I know," he murmured, "but you don't have to miss me anymore. You can stay." Stay. The word sank in. The cat's bell jingled sharply, a warning. She looked down. The cat stared up at her, eyes no longer soft but sharp, alert. Her father's grip tightened. Too tight. "Dad?" she whispered. His smile twitched, froze, then stretched too wide. Something inside her went cold. She stepped back. He didn't move with her. He stood stiff, expression stuck. A crack appeared on his cheek like broken porcelain. "Stay, Jenny," he whispered, voice layered with something non-human beneath. The cat hissed, bell ringing frantically. Jenefer ran. Shadows reached for her from the corners of buildings, stretching like living smoke. The cat raced ahead, guiding her to a side street where a warped street lamp flickered violently. She collapsed, breath shaking, tears hot on her cheeks. "What is this place?" she choked out. The cat only nudged her softly, and the truth hit her. This world offered everything she wanted, but twisted, corrupted, hungry. She wiped her tears. "I can't stay here," she whispered. But the mirror world wasn't done with her. Not even close. Jenefer wandered the warped town for what felt like hours. Fog clung to her clothes, clutched at her ankles. Buildings flickered, vanishing then reappearing. Shadows followed, whispering in voices that sounded like hers. The cat kept close, brushing against her legs, guiding her down crooked streets. "Where's the exit?" she whispered, voice trembling. The cat responded with a single bell chime. Ahead, a familiar house appeared, her Victorian home, but darker, taller. Its windows glowed faintly like eyes. The mirror must be inside. She stepped through the warped front door. The hallway flickered. Picture frames hung crookedly, her childhood photos, but with her expression wrong in each one. Too wide a smile, eyes too dark. The cat's fur bristled as they neared the attic stairs. Halfway up, a sound stopped her cold, her own voice. "Jenefer." She turned slowly. On the stair below stood her reflection, but not quite her. Its smile was stretched, eyes hollow and gleaming. "You saw what you wanted," it whispered. "Your father, your memories, your desires." Jenefer backed up the stairs. "Stay." The reflection hissed. "Stay with us. Stay forever." "No." Jenefer breathed. "Let me go." The reflection tilted its head. "You came willingly. The door doesn't open for cowards." The cat leapt between them, hissing, bell ringing violently, sharp enough to cut through the thick air. The reflection flinched back, face cracking like glass. "Go," Jenefer whispered to the cat. "Show me the way." The attic door creaked open by itself. Inside, the mirror glowed darker now, veins of shadow crawling across its surface like frost. She approached it carefully. The cat pressed against her leg, urging her. "Please," she whispered. "Let me go back." Her reflection appeared again, inside the mirror now, its face twisted. "You don't deserve the life you ran from," it snarled. "Here, you get what you want." "No," she said, voice breaking. "Here, I lose myself." The reflection's hand shot out of the mirror, cold fingers gripping her wrist, pulling her toward the glass. Jenefer screamed. The cat lunged, biting the shadow hand. The bell rang, a deafening, bright sound that filled the attic. Light exploded. The reflection shrieked and crumbled like ash. The mirror cracked, jagged lines spreading across its surface. Jenefer grabbed the cat, held it tight, and threw herself toward the shattering glass. A rush of cold, then warmth, then she landed on the attic floor of her real house. The air was still, dusty, normal. The mirror lay cracked, its surface dull and lifeless. She gasped, shaking, clutching for the warmth in her arms. But her arms were empty. "No," she whispered, voice cracking. "No, please." She searched the attic desperately. No cat, no bell. She collapsed to her knees, tears falling silently. The mirror world had taken something from her. Her guide, her protector, her companion, her friend. Hours later, she stumbled down to her bedroom, face swollen from crying. She crawled into bed, hollow and exhausted. As she closed her eyes, the world faded into silence. Jingle, jingle. Her eyes flew open. The sound was faint, soft, gentle, right beside her pillow. She turned slowly. There, curled up small and delicate, was the white cat, eyes half open, chest rising with sleep. Its bell glowed faintly. Jenefer let out a broken laugh, tears spilling again, this time from relief. She wrapped her arms around the tiny creature, burying her face into its fur. "You came back," she whispered. The cat purred, a real warm purr, and pressed its forehead against hers. Outside, the autumn wind blew softly. Inside, the house felt alive once more. But the cracked mirror in the attic remained. And sometimes, on the quietest nights, Jenefer could swear she heard faint whispers from the broken glass. Calling, waiting, watching. But she didn't look back. She had something worth living for now. A soft jingling bell, a warm heartbeat, a reminder of what she'd survived and what waited beyond the glass. The mirror had reflected another world, but the cat had brought her home.